Showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
Okay, all right. We are here again. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Yeah, we here for another show, as I say, every week. It's good to be here with you guys talking about everything under the sun. And I got another show episode 186. I'm coming closer to 200. Coming closer. Every show I get one step closer to 200, man. It's amazing. I mean, I'm nowhere close near Joe Rogan. I mean, he's in the like 1200th show. He's been doing it way before that podcasting became a thing. But yeah, I'm close to my 200 show, and I'm enjoying this, man, as always. Yeah. Let's slide into this, man, and just get to it. I was told by the fam I talk too much, but it's all good though. It's all good. I'm like, it's only an hour. I talk to you guys for like an hour, 10 minutes, hour 15, hour 5, whatever. Usually on average is that, but but that's why I can't wait. Slowly but surely, I'm hoping for a studio, whatever. And more than likely, it's going to be a studio in the house. I'm looking, as everybody knows, looking for a place to live. And New York is a hot ass market right now. And the one of the only good things about the Fed raising interest rates is that it will affect the housing market. And I'm hoping this will drop the prices of houses, man. So, and by the time that goes down and I make my purchase, yeah, man, I'll be talking in my own room, and I can set up everything that I want to set up, cameras and all that, and talk to you guys one-on-one. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's been quite a long time talking to you guys on this mic right here, man. So anyway, let's just get right to it and get down to it so I can knock this on out and move on with my day and everything. Jonathan Majors. I'm actually going to knock off one of the topics on because it's been a recent development. Jonathan Majors, the actor, the hot up and coming actor. He's in Quantumania as Kang, and he's in Creed movie, and he's been The Harder They Fall, the cowboy western on Netflix. He's been on tons of other stuff. He's a real talented guy, man. And let me tell you something. When the news broke on this, I'm like, yo, this dude is getting more attention from the alleged domestic abuse situation than Dana White got from when he actually got seen recorded slapping his wife a couple times. I guess it was a couple times. Man, that story went in and went out, man. They didn't want to hear nothing about Dana White and his whole situation. But yo, they hardly hear anything. Yo, you haven't seen no footage. You haven't seen a crime on camera. You haven't seen a photo of probably a bruised face. Not a goddamn thing. And yo, this dude is getting more attention on that than Dana White that actually got caught on footage slapping his wife, man. Yo, it's amazing how they be doing you, man. It's amazing how they be doing black man. I'm keep it real. They doing black man dirty. And I was watching this video on YouTube, and they were talking about how actually that that he called the cops. Jonathan Majors called the cops. It happened right here in New York. They was in a cab or something. They had a disagreement. Supposedly it was over some G that was texting them, and it got kind of crazy, allegedly, in the cab. The story broke. Yo, And all that's all that people are talking about right now. Whenever it's Jonathan Majors, I mean, goddamn, man. I'm like, and he called the cops. They said his lawyer said there's video footage. There's an eyewitness statement from the cab that they was in. I mean, she recanted her story. Like, it was real, man. It was real deal. And here it is. Jonathan Majors got to deal with. Yo, you got to be careful who you pick, man. You got to be careful who you pick. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm saying right now. That yo. Should I dare say it? No, fuck it. I'm gonna say it. Yo, soon as I heard my man got arrested with a G, yo, I say that's gotta be a white woman. I swear. I gotta call it out. I was like, yo, that's gotta be a white G. Yo, he got arrested right away. Right away. Is that how it went? He got arrested right away? Yeah. That's gotta be a white G. I'm just, I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm gonna keep it real, because I feel like if it was a sister, that wouldn't went down the way that it went down. It would have been like, all right, look, they dealing with the situation. You would have probably saw camera footage, video footage, probably a statement later. But yo, my man got arrested with the quickness. I was like, yo, that's got to be a white chick he was chilling. yo, man. Yeah, hey. You pick who you pick, right? And then they'll find out that it was his girlfriend. Hey, man, you pick who you pick. You pick Johnny, man. If that's your girl, I don't know how long you've been with her, but yo, you see, you got. And I'm not even saying. I'll say this. I'll remix it like this. I'm not. You got to be careful who you pick. Not careful who you pick as far as color is concerned. I'm gonna just say this. Regardless of whoever you with color, you got to be careful who you pick, man. Because and look at with the quickness, my man got arrested, and goddamn, the story is this. That's all it's been about. Jonathan Majors gets arrested, domestic abuse. Even the Army, he did an ad for the Army, and they pulled that shit out. I mean, imagine if it was a quarter. Well, I don't know. It's still too early to tell, but imagine if it was a quarter. Yo, let me tell you something, my man. Hold on, let me adjust this mic. Hold on. Let me see if I just turn this gain down a little bit. Imagine. Yo, I can't wait for this footage to come out. I want to see how this whole thing went down. They keep on talking about this footage. I want to see the goddamn footage. I want to see it. It probably was a little verbal back and forth, whatever, and it was a shove or something real like innocent. I'll say it like that. That's just my opinion. I'm just guessing what I'm gonna see on this footage. Boy, I tell you, when that video footage come out and all he did was sneeze at homegirl and he called the police and he got arrested, man. Yo, man. And I'm just saying, like I said, I'm gonna say it again. In general, right? Regardless of what color you are, yo, fellas. Even for the ladies, you gotta be careful who you pick, especially when you on the scene and you hot. You the hottest ticket right now in Hollywood. Boy, they'll turn that shit. It's like I think of that movie with Martin Lawrence, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, man. Yo, people be coming up with all types of stories to destroy your ass and your reputation, man. I tell you, man. I'm telling you. Woo, I hope, yo, man, I hope this is just some bullshit and Jonathan Majors can move on. I'm going to say, take this as numero uno red flag right here. Be careful, man. And I can only imagine that Jonathan Majors, even after all this blow over, I can hear him say, well, this was a little situation that got blown out of hand and I love her. Okay, man. Okay. Red flag number 1. Yeah, man. It was ain't gonna happen again. I see it happen again. But hey, we pick who we pick. It is what it is. Speaking of in the realm of the movies, Warner Brothers is failing, man. Warner Brothers is failing, and everybody was talking about it. He's like, yo, okay, you want to push it off to Peter Safran and to James Gunn? Okay, let's see how this goes. People weren't sure, and every day, every week that goes by, the more and more the fans start losing confidence on where this DC thing is going. Because so far, James Gunn, yo, is the ego like a motherfucker. He's directing the new Superman. He's writing the new Superman. He's already got one of his like C-list characters or projects that he's also said he was 95% done with, and it's gonna go straight to video. I don't know if it's a cartoon or whatever, but yo, I'm like, yeah, and he's keeping Aquaman, and then yo, it is disaster. It is a disaster. And then the news with Ben Affleck was destroying the whole thing. I never said I was doing a movie with James. I'm like, damn. Yo, it is nuts what's going on. And let me tell you something. As I said before, I'm going to say it again. It is not the talent. It is not so much as a talent. All right, they're saying, oh, well, you know, Henry Cavill is a problem, yada, 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 all that thing's going around. Okay, cool. I don't know Henry Cavill personally, but when you have you just take a step back and look at the entire picture. It's not just a Henry Cavill thing. If it is, he's one small part of it. The other part of it is the egomaniacal, self-entitled babies that's a part of the Warner Brothers executive team, man. I'm telling you, they don't know how to put together this property. It is being hacked to death, man. They gave it to James Gunn. You think, okay, I understand. You would think that James Gunn would think, oh, okay, I'm the director. I've been put into this, blessed with this position to really oversee the entire DC property. No, what's he do? Instead of appointing people, he appoints himself. Man, it's red flag, red flag, red flag. I'm telling you, man. The partial reboot is the fans. Yo, Shazam opened terribly. And to the point where what's his name, Zachary Levi, whatever the plays Shazam, he was like, it's make believe, y'all. You gotta. I mean, you could see that he's stressed out from this whole thing, man. He's stressed out as far as the reception of Shazam, how it's not doing good, how the fans are feeling towards James Gunn now, because that's his homeboy and that's his friend. They hang together, and man, I'm telling you, it is super toxic right now. And a lot of it I blame on the studio. And it's funny, one person actually put out an article, and they said that, you know, that the superhero craze is over. And they gave some wild, crazy, like swinging bats in a crystal shop, just trying to figure out who to blame, what to blame, and people are just plain tired. People are not tired. People do not have superhero fatigue, because there are movies that have come out that have made $1 billion. Aquaman was good, the first Aquaman. That's as far as Marvel is concerned. No, excuse me, that's DC. What else was good? Of course, the fans are sticking by Zack Snyder. He is not going anywhere. The fans are sticking by Zack. Some people want to call it toxic, the toxicity of the Snyder fans. Nah, people are sticking by because people understand where the property needs to go, and Zack Snyder was the man to do it. Let me tell you, I'm telling you, the studio, what they are doing is they need to sell. I want Shazam to fail miserably, and I hate to say it. Nothing to the talent, but I heard that if all the remaining movies do terrible, that the studio, Warner Brothers is thinking about selling it. Yes, they need to sell it. They don't know what they're doing. They need to sell this to another big studio, because apparently they do not have the professionalism, they don't have the acumen, they don't have the discipline in order to really take this WB property where it needs to be taken to. And they had it. It was with Zack Snyder, and look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They should have never got rid of Zack Snyder. They should have worked something out, let him do his thing. But now we here. and it is trash. I mean, a fan did a video I found the other day. It's called I Fixed the DC Extended Universe, and here is how. Watch that. Go just put in I Fixed the DC Extended Universe. Watch that joint. He puts together a beautiful story or a strategy on where to take these characters based off the Snyderverse. Not that he's like a super Snyder cult fanboy. No, he's just saying, okay, from where we are right now, if instead of James Gunn, they would have hired me and I was a person in Hollywood, this is what I would do. And he went forward and he laid out the entire strategy on a proper story on where these characters are going, how you're going to intermingle new characters, keep to the legacy characters. That's who that is the driving force of DC. The legacy characters, the main character, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and do the Justice League right. They were right there. This guy did it massively. And this goes to show, if a random fan can make a video on YouTube and give you a step-by-step plan on what to do with DC and it sounds good, then you know it's the studio. You know it's the executives that don't give a damn. They're into themselves. They have too much. They got too much money, too much notoriety. They think they're full of themselves, and they're sticking into all the talent, and they're going with the friends, and they're pushing away the people that's actually challenging them. If you want to call that being a team player or not. Like with Henry Cavill. Like I said, I'm not leaving Henry Cavill. I'm not saying he's an angel, but we know a big problem is the studio, because after Henry is gone and he's gone off and he's doing his own thing, and here we are with the DC property, and we're still here, and no one has a clear vision, a focus, a direction on where to take. You know it's the studio. And you know it's a studio when they hire someone like James Gunn. You have an idea of the personality of the studio execs if James Gunn is there. And I'm not knocking James Gunn. He's a great director. I have no problems with James Gunn and what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy and all the properties that he was allowed to do. He's a talented director. I have no problem. But however, when he got the position, he held the scepter, and you give everybody a chance. But so far, I was half-hearted with that presentation that he gave as far as what was in store for the new DCU, not the DCEU, but the DCU. And I'm like, okay, right? I'm interested in Waller. I'm interested in, and I always want to give it a chance. But what I see now, I don't know. I hope they fail. I hope all these movies fail. I think the only movie that's going to do well, people are going to go to the theaters for, it's Flash. Not because of Ezra Miller, but because they want to see Michael Keaton put on a cowl again and being Batman. There's a little nostalgia attached to it. What are they going to do with this Flashpoint thing? Of course, with Ben Affleck being in it. So, I think in that sense, and people said overall it was a good music from the test viewings. And the test viewings came back really highly rated, very positive. Hey, it could be a well-made film outside of that. But, hey, this is where we at. This is where we at. Marvel is having a major problem, too. It's not just DC. But Marvel is different from DC. DC just couldn't get together from the start. DC was pretty much, holding Marvel's hands and looking up at them and saying, oh, all right, we're going to do movies like this. So DC was always trying to copy the success of Marvel by doing exactly what Marvel was doing. And that is where they failed. That was like the first misstep. But Marvel is having problems too. They're putting out bad movies. And the problem is with Marvel is they're doing too much too soon. Too much too soon. They're getting every movie that comes out gets campier. Everybody, of course, you knew how they felt with Thor: Love and Thunder. Quantumania did not do well. It's not looking good. I mean, it's terrible. They fired Victoria Alonso. You know, she's the head of VFX and post-production. She's actually going to get a severance package. Of course, I knew that was going to happen. You know, they fired her. She's going to get her lawyer and be like, yo, this is some bullshit. So she is, do not cry for Victoria Alonso. She's going to get the fat package, and she's going to walk away, chill for a little bit, and then get back into trying to get a gig. She knows enough people in this business where she could get. And Kevin Feige, it wasn't by his word, but Bob Iger stepped in and he straight up chopping feet. So, she'll be all right. She's going to be all right. But they're trying to reorganize Marvel now, and they're saying they're going to focus on quality over quantity, which is necessary. Dump the campiness. I'm not saying there can't be humor in Marvel, but do not, and I said this before on the show and what's happening. Don't get all Joel Schumacher-ish and they get campy and then doing all that idiocy. That's what I heard. There was a line that was said even by Jason Momoa that he's looking forward to the release of Aquaman and he loves comedy. Comedy. Oh my God. So that looks like a red flag to me, all right? Because if Aquaman comes out and he's talking about comedy and oh my God, are we getting campy here? That is a possibility. And if it's campy, I'm not watching it. I'm not going to see it. I'm gonna wait to see what the critics are saying, the main critics, and then the lesser known critics. I'm not even talking about legacy online publications. Grace Randolph. I listened to a couple of people, independent shows on YouTube, from critics I like and from critics I don't like, just so I can see what is the general reception of certain movies. And if it's trash, I'm not going to see it. I mean, I wasn't going to see it in the theaters anyway, but I'm definitely I'll wait until it comes out on movie streaming. So I'm looking forward to all of DC. But Marvel, yeah, man, they trying to change things around, and let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Like I said, that bullshit article is called "Is the Superhero Wave Coming to an End?" Nah, man. The problem is just bad movie making. Okay, so now with the congressional hearings with TikTok and everything like that, man. So I haven't been watching the clips. I really know, but what I do see is the reaction to the TikTok community. The TikTok community on TikTok is, man, they are in full force, man. They know and they are well aware of the grandstanding, the hypocrisy, and they're all shouting out. They are up in arms. They are up in arms, especially when that video came out with Pearl Man 500, the redhead dude. Congress actually played this dude's video, and they talking about he's a Chinese propagandist. It's amazing. But the people from TikTok are standing up, and they're already jumping to another TikTok. It's crazy. They already have something else that's similar to TikTok, and it's a stupid name. It's stupid. I found it. It's called Clapper. It's exactly the same thing like TikTok. And people are saying, well, if TikTok is shut down, I'm jumping over to Clapper. Actually, and I just hear this, the latest news. You think you're going to be able to jump to another TikTok? They have a bill that they're working on. Let me see. Congress bill. What's it called? VPN blocking. They actually have Congress is considering two bills that involves TikTok. I forgot the name of it. Oh my God. It is called, let me see if I can find it quickly. And I could get, but pretty much what they're saying is they're trying to stifle the conversations that people are having on TikTok and every other social media platform, and they're going to actually be able to review and scan and figure out what's happening on people's Wi-Fi, on their cable boxes, on their phones, it's called Breach, I think. It's the Breach Act, and they're working basically to try to keep the talk. What's good about TikTok, about people actually being able to build community and talking to each other and getting like 100,000 followers in like no time, where you can't get on IG or Facebook. And they're talking about actually signing this bill into law that's going to block people from doing that in TikTok, on other social media programs, and they're going to be watching you by actually somehow scanning your talk. And I wish I could get these bills up. And it's something, it's so new. I just saw it on TikTok and people are sharing it. Let me see if I can find it on my TikTok right quick. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find it. Turn it down. I usually save. Oh shoot! What did I just do? I allowed something? I don't even know. I'm moving too fast. Let me see here. Saved. Yeah. So it's called this bill. Did I save it here? Okay. I don't think I even saved it here. But sponsored bill. Let me see if I can turn it up.
But not everybody knows that this wasn't always a huge problem. With the potential for a TikTok ban, it's important to realize the root of the problems that we have with money in Congress. So here's a very, very quick summary. It all starts with Richard Nixon, because of course it does. In the aftermath of Watergate, which if you don't know what that is, maybe
let's fast forward this.
Sum of money, it has to go through a political party.
Let's
It was
go.
a Democrat. Started
Nah,
working
this is
together
not
to
it.
form their own bill. And this bill was specifically about didn't like is how.
But he's talking about where he wants people to sign, to start this campaign of signing.
That bill required that candidates act.
Let's stop that. Just to get money out of politics, to get dark money out of politics. And one of it is Citizens United versus Supreme Court, where companies can make an untold amount of campaign contributions anonymously, and he's starting this campaign. And I'll share it later with you guys on the platform. Please go ahead and sign it. That's the definite problem that we are having, especially when that another school shooting that we just had another school shooting. A gentleman killed a couple kids and some adults. It happened in Nashville just the other day. Let me see, shooting. And they actually shared the footage of the chest cam footage of the police actually going in and neutralizing the threat, quote unquote. I wouldn't even say quote unquote. He was a threat to children and he killed kids, and that's unfortunate. The individual was mentally unstable and having issues, and for some reason he felt that it was to deal with his mental issues was to kill kids and adults in a school, sort of like a suicide murder thing. So so that's one of the things that we're having a problem with in terms of trying to have some sort of legislative change, because of again, our politicians are, let's be real, they've been bought off. They've been bought off by big companies that we can't budge a single inch off of real policy that's going to protect our children and people and all the other things that are affecting us as American citizens. And it's directly connected. The root cause of it is our government is paid off. Our politicians are paid off. People know it. People are talking. And that's a bill I will share with you on my page for people to sign. And it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. And of course, and as I said before, originally, that's what is the issue with TikTok. And they're saying about, stealing data, and, TikTok is controlled by the Chinese government, and they wouldn't be able to say anything even if it was, and they want to buy the shares of TikTok and all blah, blah, blah. And the CEO he was trying to get his opportunity to talk. He wasn't getting his opportunity to talk. A lot of times they were talking over him, cutting him short. And some of the questions were just asinine, what these people were talking about. It's crazy. And all of it is related to each other. And I'm going to talk about another topic that is just as much as complex and layered and connected. Everything. We're dealing with massive corruption. And for me personally, I think it started when the dollar came off the gold standard. When Nixon removed the dollar, when the dollar was no longer gold backed, And I think it was an incremental problem that's been happening over the decades in this country. And why we're here at this point, why we cannot budge a single thing, why we have zombie companies, why we have bad health care, why we're dealing with the gun issue, why we're dealing with poverty, why we're dealing with the prison industrial complex, why we're dealing with a whole slew of issues, homelessness, all of it. You can trace this line all the way back to politicians getting their pockets laced, all of it. So it's wild, but I find it funny, but at the same time, it's not funny what we're seeing with TikTok, because that's a very real thing. I wish I could find that bill. I'm sorry I didn't get to that bill, but please, you could probably find it on TikTok. If anybody's listening to this, you know what I'm talking about. For those that don't, just Google it. How are they going to keep people from talking by passing this bill involving TikTok and all the other social media programs, attacking your VPN and your cable boxes and your phones, and just basically listening to what you're saying? Crazy. It's crazy, man. They don't want people talking to each other. That's what TikTok is doing. The other thing, this is a wild thing that's happening right now. World Athletics just made an official statement that trans women will not be able to play women's sports. Now, a lot of people, it's a hot topic. It's a hot topic sometimes. It's a hot topic amongst people that are for and against. To me, we have more important things that's going on, but it is something that I did find online. And it's something that we do talk about as people, and I agree with that. I don't think trans women should be playing women's sports. You are a biological man. You have testosterone, no matter how much hormones you take to minimize the testosterone in your body. You are still a man. Your bones is built like a man. Your muscles are built like a man. You move like a man. That's it. Now, I respect your identity. You're a trans woman. You're a woman trapped in a man's body. I get it. I have no problem with that. But it is an issue when you play women's sports and you win, because of the fact that you have the physicality of a man. Now, this gentleman named Hudson Taylor, he's the founder of Athletic Ally. It's an LGBT rights group in sports, and he figured that this whole thing that's happening, this choice has been made, is bad for young trans folks who want to see themselves in sports. And I have no issue with this. There should be trans sports. If you are a trans woman, there should be sports for trans women. Not against women, not against biological women. I've seen women, excuse me, I'm hiccuping, I just had dinner. I've seen women get the snot beat out of them when they're boxing a trans woman, and that is not fair. I've seen sports where the man, there was one particular trans woman that was like the 40th or 50th or something, I think, in swimming. And then the individual made a change, a gender identity change into a woman. He was a trans woman, and then he played sports as a woman, and he came in number one. That's unfair. That's unfair, and a lot of the biological women saying that it was overdue. That decision was long overdue. Yeah, the wild thing is you never hear trans men making the same argument. You never hear trans men having an argument just like trans women. I wonder why. Of course we know why. We know no trans man is going to get into a boxing ring with a man because he's going to get killed. Okay, he's going to get killed. You're still well aware of the physical limitations that women have in comparison to biological men. So, the only people that's making the most noise are trans women. And I'm sorry, you can't bring your privilege over into this world that you just stepped into 2 seconds ago. You know this, okay? You know this. Let's stop. As a biological male, I feel that it is unfair Like, as I said, you could call yourself what you want. I respect your decision to be who you are, but there's certain lines that you can't cross, and it's unfair to the biological women that have worked hard in this sport for years and years. And now it comes time where it's the Olympics or any special athletic, performance that needs to be done, whatever however it goes, event. They should have a right to have their sports for biological women. So that's wild. The wild part is, the crazy thing is, France is protesting right now. Have you heard that France is protesting? They are not playing. All right. When something is not going right for the people, the French citizens, they do not hold back. They protest, and they're protesting because the government wants to raise the retirement age from 60 to 62. They are saying, hell nah, we ain't doing it. I mean, they burning tires in the streets and going off. The real thing that got me paying attention was the fact that video has been released that the French police have joined the protests. You could see video of the French police walking with the protesters with their helmets off, their gloves off, and they are walking peacefully with the protesters. Man, that is a sight to see. Why can't we? I don't see that. Now, I see little games and the dance crazes and the videos with the hugging with the cops and the protesters when it comes to police brutality. But then the next thing you know, you see that same face where they're smiling with the citizen, right? Trading ice cream. Next thing you know, you see him bashing somebody in the head with a baton. Yo, why the mind fuck is real, man. The mind fuck is real when it comes to people that join police forces. They cannot see that they're the working class too, and they're getting stuck at the end of the day when it comes to their health care, when it comes to having a quality life, having enough time with their families, being able to do the things that every human being should have a right to. But somehow there's the computer just glitches, right? And they can't compute that. The same people that is fighting for justice and human right, you are this very same people. You're the very same people, especially when it comes to black men that are police officers, that are beating people over the head when it comes to these protests, or going as hard or harder than their white counterpart. And I'm like, yo, you do understand you a black man too. You take off that uniform, you go in the supermarket, somebody decides to call the cops on you, you're gonna get treated the same way, and it has happened. So even regardless of color, if you are white, black, you are the army to the haves, right? It's happened in Zuccotti Park. I can't understand it. Zuccotti Park, when it was the Wall Street protest, people were very clear. The major news media was not making it clear. They were making it everything else except what the people were protesting for. But those young folks were protesting because they knew that the game is rigged, and they were telling people why they were upset, why they were mad, and we had it jumping off years ago in Zuccotti Park. And then you have police that was raiding, pulling down tents, and just basically pushing people out. I'm like, you understand, you are getting the same short stick as the people that are protesting. How can you not make that connection? How are you missing that? And I've spoken to police, and I said that on the show before. And it was a dude. I went to police precinct to handle some business, and I spoke to them, just having a regular conversation with this dude, because they're people too. And the dude was like, man, I should have been in sanitation, because I'm getting long hours. I can't choose when I want to do overtime. I have to come in. I get paid too little. And cops get paid they say new rookie cops get paid between, I think it was in a 5-year period, it could go from $45,000 to $80,000. I'm like, what? And I'm pretty sure that means they have to make up the rest in overtime, and you don't have no time to rest. They're saying the divorce rate is high with police officers. The divorce rate is high. And the successful relationships, marriages, are cop marriages. It's wild, man. I don't understand why police officers are not putting two and two together, and the people that are protesting to be recognized as human beings and get those same rights, they're knocking people over the head. I mean, you have police officers that's, the indigenous people that's fighting against their environment from being poisoned from these pipelines that are being built through their lands, and it's going to poison the environment, the forests, kill the rivers, the trees, all the aquatic life, the animals. You have these dudes is like, nah, I'm going to go knock you over the head because I got to do my job. Do you understand that you live within this environment as well? You do not exist outside of that. Unless you're a robot, you're an android, you could breathe in space. Maybe you come from another planet. But as what it looks like, you look human. And you need oxygen like the next person. You need water like the next person. You need to be able to live. You got to eat to live. You need clothes. You need food. You need shelter, just like everybody else. And I can't see how these officers, the mindfuck is real, man. The mindfuck is real. Shout out to France, man, and those French police officers for joining the efforts, man. That's what I would like to see. Can I see that in America? I want to see cops take off their gear and their helmets and walk with the people, man. Now that'll be something to see, man. Oh man, the joy when those cops realize it's like, wait a second, y'all on my side. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's wild. Let's talk about the environment. Scientists found out that the bottom of the ocean waters are warming. Interesting. They're saying it can be more devastating than the warming of waters on the ocean surface. And actually, it's a very real thing. They said between 2013 and 2016, the surface waters in the Pacific Ocean along the North American coastline warmed up, and 1 million seabirds, count them, I said it, 1 million seabirds died because their main meal source, fish, were impacted. And that was surface water. Dylan Amaya, he's a research scientist from NOAA, that's the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Physical Science Laboratory in Boulder, Colorado. He says, quote, "We're seeing bottom marine heat waves happening around Australia and in places like the Mediterranean and Tasmanian seas. This is not something that's unique to North America." So it's happening all over the globe. They're saying the ocean has absorbed approximately 90% of excess heat from global warming. This has led to an increase of about 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit over the past 100 years. And it's going to have devastating effects on how our environment, nature, functions. Now, I think I noticed it because I remember we had clear defined moments in time when the season started and when they ended. Like this past winter, to me, personally, for me, it's been erratic. It's been cold. It's been warm the next day, cold the other, high temperatures, low temperatures, rain. You think rain is going to happen. Rain doesn't happen. Snow, no, it don't happen. I remember when I was a kid, we had clear defined lines when the winter started, when spring started, summer, all that. This winter was so, man, I'm telling you, I spoke to other people and they say they feel, I talked to people older than me in their 40s and 50s, and excuse me, for older than me. And I'm talking about 60s and 70s. I'm talking to people in my age group. They feel that they notice a clear difference between how the seasons moved when they were teenagers to what it is today. Nah, it's not, I forgot the name of the movie. Oh man, that was a great movie with The Day After Tomorrow. It's not that drastic, but you do feel that the weather is acting a little bit erratic. And I think it's directly connected to what we do on this planet, man. They're saying they're seeing videos of whole animal marine life washing up on beaches. You know all that. The coral bleaching. They're saying the coral, of course, they're part of the animal kingdom. The coral reefs are bleached out, dying. They cannot sustain. They cannot live in the warmer waters. And you know when the coral reefs die because they get bleached out. They turn white. And instead of the rich, vibrant, multicolored scene that you would see when you see coral reefs underwater. It's crazy. And we don't care, man. We're too busy making money, man. Who cares? What? Coral reefs? Who cares? All the dead animals washing up? Who cares? We don't care as long as we're making money. And that is going to be our downfall. I don't think it's going to be AI. I don't think it's going to be war. I think what is going to be the primary factor to the extinction of human beings, I think it would be what we do to our environment. And it's going to be too late, and then the earth is going to react, and it's going to shuffle us off like a bad case of fleas, man. The city of Philadelphia, all of this is running into environment stuff. They put out a tweet the other day to Philadelphian residents to buy bottled water because of a leak of a latex emulsion spill. It was a latex emulsion spill in the Otter Creek. Otter, O-T-T-E-R. They say the creek flows into the Delaware River, and that is a source of the water for half of Philadelphia, the tap water. Yo, it's madness. It's good that they put that out, but water is precious. We need it to live. And we have big problems in a lot of our cities. But I'm glad that they did say something. I saw some latest information. So far they're saying that the water is not contaminated. The officials have ran over 40 water tests in the river, and the Baxter water treatment plant that clears out the water for Philadelphian citizens, they're saying so far there's no contamination detected. So that's what they say. I don't know, because when that happened in Eastern Palestine, they were saying, yeah, everything's good, and hell no, it's not good. And funny how we don't even hear about East Palestine. They ran that story for a good while. It was all over the news, and now I don't see it anywhere. They like, okay, we're past that news cycle. What is going on in East Palestine? Hopefully someone is still covering what's going on there in East Palestine, or what's happening with the residents out there. Here's another piece of news, water related. Acadia bottled water is being pulled from Stop and Shop in New Jersey because they're saying the water where they get that bottled water from is sourced close to the toxic spill in East Palestine, Ohio. So they're pulling all the water off the shelves in Stop and Shops in New Jersey. And they're telling people not to drink Acadia bottled water. Another situation, we have New York investors that are buying water rights in Colorado. There's this article that came out. I forgot where I saw that from, but I looked it up. And here it is on CBSnews.com that we have a company here right in New York that's buying up the water rights in Colorado. And it says here, private investment firms are showing a growing interest in an increasingly scarce natural resource in the American West. Water in the Colorado River. A joint investigation by CBS News and the Weather Channel has found. For some of the farmers and cities that depend on the river as a lifeline, that interest is concerning. Quote, our only source of water is the Colorado, says Joe Bernal, who raises cattle and grows crops on land across Colorado's Grand Valley, relying on water from the drought-depleted Colorado River. That's all we've got in that river, he says. It goes on to say a New York-based investment firm called Water Asset Management, which he says bought a farm in the valley around 2017 that Bernal now rents and helps operate. According to public record, the hedge fund, which is headquartered on Madison Avenue in Manhattan, has bought at least $20 million worth of land in West Colorado in the last 5 years, making it one of the largest landowners in the Grand Valley. Interesting. So they bought this to control the water, to make money off of it, something that is a human right for every human being, the ability to have drinkable water and for it not to be super expensive. What else does it say? So Mueller's job, Colorado's share of the river, which flows through 7 states and is an important water source for cities including Denver, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, and Los Angeles. He said Water Asset Management has acquired more than 2,500 acres of farmland and is interested in the water rights that come with it. Now, what does this have to do with everything? What I just said, from what's happening in the city of Philadelphia, to what is going on in Acadia, bottled water pulling off the shelves and Stop and Shop, to New York investors buying the water rights to this particular Colorado River. What does it all have to do? It's called water access. It's called city maintaining clean water as a right to human beings. And it's called commodification of water in order for companies to make money. It's all about money, 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 money. You understand? Money that you can save and put in your pocket, or money that you can earn by creating scarcity and charging people high prices for. This is where we're at, folks. This is where we're at. We are in the state of hypercapitalism, where you're trying to save money and not do what's right for the people. And in ways to save money, you cut regulations. You want companies to run free. You forget about making sure that you have clean, drinkable water. So those are the methods which you would use to keep this water clean. Those things get run down over the decades, and then something breaks, the system fails, and then you're feeding poison water to the cities. To now this spill because you didn't want regulation and the train fell apart. I was running on the tracks and it spills toxic fumes into the air where it can rain acid water down in your neighborhoods and your counties and kills the marine life and kills the animals. You can't drink that water. You get sick. It saves money, keeps the money in the shareholders' pockets. So now what we're doing with New York companies are buying swaths of land to get water rights, create scarcity so they can charge at the highest possible rate to make what, folks? Money. That's our problem. That's our problem in these United States. And it's just not United States. It's not unique to America, but America is the architect of it. We've got to change things around, because they will have you living on droplets of water with no teeth, having cancer, keeping you smart enough to run the machines, but dumb enough to not know what's going on. It is literal idiocracy that's happening. I'm talking about the movie Idiocracy. That's where we're at. But the game and the system is so good that the very same people that's suffering from all of these things that are man-made are the very people that's calling it, that's socialism, that's communism. They don't even know what the body politic is all about. But they got the people brainwashed. But I don't know what to say. I don't know there's a solution for it. The only thing I can say is to educate people as much as possible of what's going on, and hopefully they have enough brain cells that are still active where they can understand how their environment is being used against them, how their own livelihood is being used against them, and that they can break out the matrix and see what's going on, and it's getting incrementally worse, and it's ruining people's lives here. Yeah, last thing, this is a music show. I was looking at some new hip hop, change it, upgrade a little bit. The last topic that I'd love to give, and make sure you support new hip hop, man. I'm not some of these old fogies that be like, I don't like all that new gen stuff. Nah, you got to give room for the art form to grow. And I saw an Uproxx, man. Check out some of these albums, man. And it sounds pretty good. To even some singles that are out there. Greedo, Halfway There. You have Hit Boy, Surf or Drown, album that came out. You have Hungsho. His album is 22. And you spell his name HUNXHO, and the album is 22. So there's Josiah with an album called 3. Check that brother out. There's JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown, Scaring the Hoes. Coda the Friend and Static Selector, To See a Sunset. Check that out. Quando Rondo with Recovery. You have Aruchi and Bankroll Got It with their album Notorious. We have some singles. Atmosphere is coming out with a new album, with its new official video. It's called Bigger Pictures. Bia, check out Bia, I'm That Bitch, featuring Timbaland. Did a little spin on Missy Elliott's tune. And she's doing her own little thing on it. So check out Bia. You got Huey Briss, plays off Ocean. You have Callie, Area Codes. Of course, she takes a little bit of that Luda original song and puts her spin on it. Yo, Lloyd Banks is doing this thing with Method Man. It's got his song 101 Razors. Annalie Chopper featuring Lil Wayne, Ain't Gonna Answer. Ray Vaughn with Plot Twist, and that's a lot. That's the last bit. I got to check out all of that stuff. I want to check that out. I'm all for it. Like I said, listening to new stuff, what's out there. I think personally that hip hop needs a reimagination. It's getting a little stale right now because you keep on hearing the same things. There are people that peak out, of course, out of all this music that's coming out with hip hop. But I think we need a new wave that's really going to refresh the art form. I'm hearing the same things. I'm hearing the same beat. I'm really not impressed. Like I said, I always try to keep my ears to the tracks to hear what's coming, to hear something new. And there are we do have some good joints that are out there, but I think just like any genre, there's a group of people or an individual that sparks a new vibe. And then all of a sudden the people pay attention to it. The industry pays attention to it. And then all of a sudden you have a new look, a new sound that comes out of that genre. And right now, I think hip hop is well overdue for that. I'm really not into rappers is really getting, super violent in their lyrics anymore. I think we've been there, done that, seen it. We need something new. Even if you have to reinvent yourself and take on a character in hip hop, I'm all with it. If that's going to breathe new life into the art form, it's needed, man. And I'm waiting for it. I'm trying to hear who is really the young folk, the new gen is really taking it there. Other than the typical people that we always hear about, Kendrick, J. Cole, my man from the West Coast, I can't remember his name. I always forget it. Every time I forget his name. Other than the typical people, Drake, I think Drake is reaching his, I think he's talking about taking a break, and I think it's good too, man, to pull away a little bit, but of course you always got to look where the new vibe is coming from. So that's a little bit of artists that I've seen on Up Rocks. Always try to strive for new sounds and new rhythms, man, for people that really love music, people that really love hip hop. Check that out. So anyway, that was my take on it. I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys listening to me. Once again, we'll be back next week. Hopefully, I have some things to share with you, but we'll see. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for listening.
Check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com. For the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go-round. From right here to your town, we out.